Teaching number 201. People, in this era in which the Spirit of Truth radiates its light over every spirit, I want those who are destined to listen to me in this form, to concentrate and meditate, because only in this way will they be able to understand the divine message that I am giving to you at this time. This message is the book that I have been recording in your spirit. It is the divine interpretation of the law that humanity received from the earliest times. It is the essence that contains the Book of the Seven Seals, whose mystery I begin to clarify, illuminating your spirit with the light of my word. Tomorrow, when you have already understood my lesson, the fight will begin. You will no longer have my word in this form, but you will feel my presence in your heart. God, in the first era through Moses, wrote my law in stone. The word of Jesus was written in blood on the heart of man. And in this age I will write my revelations in your spirit with the light of inspiration. If you stumble before the imperfections of these mediators, by which I have been communicating, do not go to stop in that confusion, analyze, be calm and continue, because my wish is that you realize the magnitude and truth that my revelation contains. It is necessary that when this people rise up in search of counties, towns, villages and even nations where they can make the good news heard, they find themselves strong and spiritualized. Today you are still the innocent child who longs to see the moment of the fulfillment of his mission arrive, but who is still unaware of the snares and trials that await him along the way. But everyone who is saturated with faith and love will be able to defy the gales and be insensitive to their own pain, but not indifferent to the miseries of humanity. My lesson has been extensive in this time, because I have wanted to give the opportunity to many to listen to me, in order to fulfill in this way the promise that I made to you in times past, that every sinful and non-sinful I would contemplate me spiritually, to thus encourage your hope and your trust in me. My will has been that the word be written, which I have been delivering to you, because in it there are predictions, announcements, messages, so that they may be known by the men of tomorrow, because many times your memory is unfaithful. My word comes to form an enlightened people, to which they will belong, men and women from all over the earth, and their strength will be in their spirituality. To that people I will entrust the restitution of peace in the world, justice, morality and true faith. Today it seems that humanity is sleeping, but with true surprise you will see how some peoples, upon hearing the voices of my emissaries, will open the doors of their hearts, as flowers open to receive the dew and the caress of the sunlight. You, who are listening to me now, are part of that people that will grow in the future to cover the entire earth. Your mission is to exhort men to divest themselves of their materialism, to preach communication from spirit to spirit, and to support your brothers in faith, when great trials loom over them. The multitudes that have listened to my word at this time are only a small portion of the people that will emerge tomorrow. Their duty is to remain united despite the trials and storms that may hit them. If they were to disperse, they would lose the battle, they would lose the star that has guided them up to now, and they would lose themselves in the immense solitude of the desert. And what would be the testimony that they would deliver about my truth? What would be the example that they would present to their brothers? Beloved disciples, think that if I have descended to speak to you, materializing my divine presence and my word through you, a great good must be pursued by your master, and that you, whom I have taught and loved, must not distort in any way my divine doctrine. Disciples, if you long to possess spiritual gifts, let it be love and the desire to do good that inspire that longing in you. Do not seek to come to possess my grace only in order to flatter your vanity, to feel somewhat higher than your brothers. Also do not seek through these gifts to form a fortune through lucre. Truly I tell you that when love expects some payment, from that moment it ceases to be love, and when the charity that is done has the purpose of expecting a reward, it ceases to be charity. That is why I warn you that when you have the desire to possess one of those gifts, let it be love that inspires you. Anyone who wants to follow me on this path must strip his heart of all petty interests, all selfishness and all vanity. Only through a clean heart can my love be felt. When I find that one of you is engaged in the execution of a good work, elevated in prayer, asking for a needy brother, and you present to me your heart full of anguish due to the pain of your fellow man, my divine love will place in you a drop of my healing balm, and I grant you the miracle you were asking for. At that moment, a great joy invades the son who has interceded for his brother before the Father, who is the one who gave what was requested of him to the needy who received my charity. On the other hand, when he who has the mission of sowing charity on his way, makes use of his gifts for selfish ends, without realizing it, he has deprived himself of the grace of the Father and cannot give anything, he deceives himself and he is deceiving his brothers. That evil farmer, instead of sowing wheat on his way, sows tares. After executing each one of his bad deeds, he will be left with a very bitter taste, a dissatisfaction, a restlessness, and he will not be able to find in the kind face of his Father that loving smile that blesses and approves his works, nor will he be able to make his brothers feel the influence of their spiritual gifts. If the sick person was healed or the troubled received consolation, or if a miracle took place, that prodigy was not due to that farmer but to the infinite mercy of the Father for the needy who, in his innocence, placed all his trust in the wicked disciple of the Lord. And still, when the miracle has taken place, the bad servant attributes it to his prayers, to his gifts and uses that testimony to increase the number of those who trust him. My justice will have to touch him, so that he stops his erroneous steps, reflects on the falsity of his works and returns to the path. Blessed are those who at the first touch of my justice have repented of their sins, have freed themselves from following the path of their faults and have fought to repair all their mistakes, because they have verified with this that the satisfactions of the Spirit never can be compared with those of the earth. They have underestimated the peace that clean work leaves in the heart, they have accepted the flattery or the miserable payment of a coin and have seen that the former magnifies the Spirit and the latter diminishes and debases it. Everyone who is a farmer on my land must know that I sent him to testify about me, and for his testimony to be true, he must be justified by his works, through acts of charity, words and thoughts of good, trying to keep your heart clean so that I manifest myself in it. At that time I told you, who knows the Son, knows the Father, with which I wanted to tell you that by my works on earth you could come to know the love that your Father has always poured out on you. Now I tell you, I want to become recognized through the works of my disciples. When this people come to understand me and direct their lives toward this teaching and embrace their cross with true love, humanity will awaken, become aware of their works, and will have to convince themselves that it is the truth that guides them. Then my work will be considered a divine revelation, whether you call it religion, doctrine, or ideology. Know and understand, O disciples, what the mission is that I have set for you. Weigh your responsibility and examine each one of your works, so that all of them adhere to the truth of my doctrine. In many societies, orders and congregations, men are often called brothers. Their lips pronounce the kind word of brother, without feeling it in their hearts most of the time. Truly I say to you, that if you dedicated yourselves to delve into the meaning of that word, you could discover the source of life from which you have sprung, you would understand my divine tenderness, and all this would make you shudder with remorse, thinking about how far in which you have lived one from the other, in the indifference with which you look at those you call strangers and in the offenses that you constantly inflict on each other. When I came to the world to live with men, I did so to teach them to be brothers. I took on flesh in Mary and called you my brothers to teach you how you should love one another. My entire doctrine was about this, to show you that divine and unique law with which you could love and glorify the Father. How will you come to love me without loving yourselves? Truly I tell you that everything you will come to offer me, it is better that you share it among your brothers, because the Father possesses everything and, on the other hand, you lack everything. Inspire in my example all your life and your works, and in truth I tell you, that when you do so, at every step you will be glorifying me and giving true proof of your love. If men united all their gifts in order to elevate their existence, they would fully feel my presence among them. Some would give their knowledge, others their love, others their charity, their science, their inspiration, and others their strength. Then a strong and united humanity would emerge, as if it were in the form of a single enlightened man, great and good and therefore powerful. That is the man in whom I have long since been sculpting with my law of love. Hard is the rock of your heart, but it will not withstand the edge of the divine chisel of my word. I have come to announce to you a time of harmony among humanity. My prophets also announced it to you long ago. By then you will see the nations come together, share their bread, their strength and their knowledge. You will see men sowing peace where before they only knew how to live between wars and hatred. You will see them bring consolation to the sick, as true doctors of humanity. Do you now recognize that you have truly failed to live as brothers in my law? Do you understand why I told you from that time that my supreme commandment was, love one another? I have not come at this time to erase that maxim from your heart or replace it with another. It is immovable and immutable. I only explain it to you so that you understand its full scope and know its content, which is my wisdom. When will this humanity understand that in the fulfillment of that law is the peace that it needs so much, the health that it lacks today and the happiness that it has never found? I know that men, without knowing it, are moving towards that point that, when they have reached it, they will finally open their eyes to the light of truth. After telling you all this, I want that when you call one of your fellow men brother, you understand what that word means and you will try to feel the truth of what I have revealed to you today. In my fatherly love I receive you, even when the number of those who listen to me is small, I do not stop manifesting myself with love. Your mind will be bathed in my light and it will destroy any doubt you may have. Short is the number of those who follow me and still I see them weak, but behold, my word will transform them into firm and courageous soldiers, who, even tired and wounded, will reach the end, waving in their right hand the banner, a symbol of peace and brotherhood. Your triumph will encourage many to follow you. Blessed is he who comes to know and carry out his mission. The spirit requires firm purposes, effort and will for its evolution. When this is missing, progress is slow and requires many earthly lifetimes to complete its perfection. Men must know all my teachings, which is the path of the spirit in pursuit of perfection. Intuition is not enough, they also need knowledge so that they never stop along the way, so that they give time and opportunities the value they have and no longer be the spiritually dead. Life must manifest more in the spirit than in the body. How many are those who have inhabited this world and how few have lived spiritually, those who have allowed to manifest the grace that exists in each being, in that divine spark that the Creator deposited in man. If men could preserve transcendence in their conscience, through it they could contemplate their past, their present and their future. The spirit is similar to my Arcanum. How much does it contain? At every step and every moment it has something to reveal to you, manifestations sometimes so profound that they become incomprehensible to you. That spark of light that exists in every human being is the bond that unites man with the spiritual, it is what puts him in contact with the beyond and with his Father. If you observe, you will understand that everything is related to the eternal life that awaits you and to which you approach each passing day or moment. In my fields I need laborers who learn to sow and cultivate this seed, pure of mind and with hearts of good will, because many who received my gifts became prodigal sons, who were only for a time close to the Father, to then go after pleasures, but my word will be fulfilled and they will return. They will find my inexorable justice on their way, but when they return to me they will find me as always, as a kind Father. Multitudes, arise and go as emissaries of this work, giving the good news to all your brothers. Have faith in my word and you will do wonders. This light will raise humanity from its sleep. Go step by step along the path, so that you may get to know it. It is the narrow path of my law. The fight in him is incessant, sometimes you will drink very bitter chalices, but you will also reap infinite satisfactions by experiencing in your spirit the peace of the Lord. I go ahead marking the path for you, you must be obedient like sheep, and you will not stray. If you ask me where I am leading you, I will answer you, towards the supreme happiness of the Spirit. Who can get lost on the path of life if he carries the cross of love on his shoulders? Do not think that I am asking you to dedicate all the hours of your life to me. You have your duties on earth that you have to fulfill and you must know that they too are sacred and are part of your spiritual destiny. For me I only ask you for a short spiritual prayer each day, but in those moments that you dedicate to me, you must divest yourself of all trifles and human miseries, so that you can truly come to be before my presence and enjoy my caress and my peace. You all have different missions to fulfill spiritually. Some will not leave the region where they have lived, others will rise up to go in search of other lands. Some will move away from their families to carry out their work, others will have their mission within their family. There are those who believe that only at this time the Master has come to entrust them with a spiritual mission, but they are gravely mistaken, because your spirit has brought with it, from its origin, its path of development preordained within itself. In this time, as in past ages, I have only come to remind you of the pact that your spirit made with its Father before coming to this earth. Embrace your mission with love, O disciples, so that you can make your brothers come after my divine footprint. you must realize that you have everything you need to be sowers of this seed. In the spirit and in your matter, you have all the gifts to overcome trials and win in the fight. May your spirit be at the helm of your body and the light of your conscience that illuminates your path, dominating the passions and impulses of the flesh, and then the fulfillment of your mission will be easy. See that the spiritual seed that has been entrusted to each one you, must be returned multiplied to be stored in my granary. With this you must understand that you have to take advantage of the time you have. Blessed is he who patiently drains the chalice of bitterness that the fight offers him, because in the end his pain will be transformed into happiness. Fill yourselves with faith and courage, so you will not fear the judgments of humanity. Be afraid of yourselves, because a weakness or a mistake can cause you serious consequences. When one of your brothers, momentarily blinded by the darkness that envelopes the world, artfully wounds you in the heart, forgive him and come to me so that I may close your wound with my love. Patiently carry the weight of your cross and know that this existence and the performance of your delicate spiritual mission is so that you can raise your spirit to the kingdom that it belongs to. If you fulfill on earth, you will fulfill in the hereafter. My peace be with you.